Welcome back, everybody, to another Working Out with Aaron Briggs video. Aaron, what's on deck for us today?
Yeah, we have a strength workout. And like we normally do, we're going to warm up with the same movements that we're going to do. So if you'd like to join us, go ahead and begin with squats. Today we've got about 4 to 4.5, maybe 5 movements. And we're going to do each one as a little bit of a warm-up for about 30 seconds. And then we'll jump into it. I'll give you a little more information as we're going. Right now, again, with your squats, your goal is to just kind of iron out the wrinkles. I know some people say they feel like the Tin Man when they first doing this.
The Tin Man?
Yeah.
That's great.
Creaky.
They need the little oils, squirts.
But that's exactly what movement does, is it kind of lubricates your joints, right? That is really why we do exactly this. So the next movement is called the deadlift. And again, we've been doing this a long time. If you're just joining us, we think of deadlift as reaching down to the ground and then standing back up again, picking something up from the floor. Really, any kind of thought like that will get you there. Maggie's doing a little bit of a bend or a forward fold. If you've been in yoga, you can do deadlifts on 2 legs, on 1 leg. Again, the idea is just to kind of get used to moving this way because we're going to be doing it a lot more. Exercise 3 is a push or a press. Today, you're going to see us doing a couple of variations. My favorite warm-up for that is a push-up or a plank. Sometimes push-ups can be a little more intense if you're doing a warm-up, so even just getting down into a plank position on your hands or your elbows will work. And then a quick heads up for you, Mags and I have realized, we've realized that people at home, again, it's challenging to get kettlebells or weights or bands. Those stuff at this time are still just really tough to get. Yeah. So one thing we're going to try doing is from here on out, we're going to show one of us doing the workout with equipment and then someone doing the body weight variations. And so today, you're going to see me stick with just body weight. And I'm showing you right now our 4th movement, which is a row or a flap, kind of a fly there, which is something you can absolutely do if you don't have weights or bands or anything like that. So again, you can get a great workout with just your body weight. And I'm going to be showing you that version today.
Even on a strength day.
Exactly. Now, on a strength day, the last thing that we do is an optional either core or rest. And it's optional because you can kind of choose your option there. Personally, I like to default to the rest. When I'm doing a strength workout, I like to have that little bit of a breather. Some people, though, they just want to keep moving, and that's totally fine. If that's you, if you want to do a little active recovery or keep the workout going, you can do any core move you want. The movement that you'll see Maggie and I practice today is a plank or variations on a plank. So again, those are our 4 main movements plus our little core movement. And we're going to get rolling here in just a few seconds. You'll see my hands going up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's begin again with squats. Now, as far as the particulars for my people that love the roadmap of how we're going to go, today, every exercise is going to be 45 seconds long with about a 15-second breather in between or 15 seconds of transition time. Really, that means every exercise is going to take about a minute. You're just working out for 45 seconds of that, and then you have about 15 seconds to kind of transition to the next one. Each round, including our rest or our core, is about 4.5 minutes. So again, just be ready for that. We're going to aim for 5 rounds today. And that being said, Mags and I are going to do 5 rounds. If you want to join us for all 5 of those, that means that your workout's going to be about 25 minutes in length. If you want to join us for any other number, that's totally fine. You do what you can do. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great first round of the squats. I hope you're feeling good. That's what that first round's all about. Looking good and feeling good. Okay, go ahead and get ready. You've got deadlift coming up next. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God, that transition time is just nice. I love some of the workouts where we just go back to back. It's fun to do that. Personally, I like having just that little bit of time to get ready for the next one. Gets us there. Now, for those of you that were watching, regular deadlifts are awesome. Maggie's doing those. Great if you've got a weight, if you've got a band, if you can do those, that's great. I'm doing the bodyweight variation called a side shuffle, and again, I'm just using the carpet that we have here to be able to go back and forth. You can use anything in your house. You could set up, 2 books any distance apart and just go back and forth and shuttle those. I could be going all the way to our back windows if I really wanted to, right? Yeah. The idea is you've got
That's what we do with the kids.
Sometimes we do, yeah. 4,
all the way into the kitchen.
2, 1, take a little break. Okay, you're 2 exercises in. By this point, you should just be thinking, okay, I'm moving. If it feels like crazy hard exercise already, if that's your jam, go ahead and go for it. It's not our intent, right? Our intent is still to make this feel almost a little easy at the beginning.
Yeah,
next exercise.
First of 5 rounds.
Right. Next exercise is your push-up or press. Go ahead and begin. Now you'll see both Maggie and I doing variations on a push-up. I'm doing a regular push-up. Maggie is sometimes doing a push-up, maybe a down dog rep. And again, any and all of that can work for you. If you have a weight and you'd like to do a floor press, you're laying on your back and pushing that weight up towards the ceiling, that's cool. If you have a weight and you want to stand up and press it towards the ceiling, that's an overhead press, that's awesome too. Again, the idea is that you're just doing any sort of pressing movement that looks and feels good at this point, and that you know you can probably make feel like exercise, right? You have a lot of
eventually
choice here.
Yep.
Exactly. And about 6 seconds to go. Hang in there. 3, 2, 1, well done. Take the next 15 seconds and either breathe or get ready for your next exercise, which is a row. Now, if you're doing just body weight, rows can be a little different. I love these table rows. They're my quick fix for this. 3, 2, 1, begin. If for any reason you feel awkward when you're doing this, or particularly unsafe, if you feel like your table's gonna tip, do not do table rows. We always want you to feel safe first. We know our table works. I'm not going to pull it over on myself. That being said, if you want to do these, great. If you have a band and you can row, if you have your weights, do that too. If you're still thinking, man, I don't have any of that stuff, I just have body weight, what can I do? You can always do what Maggie's doing and just pretend that you have a weight. If you sit down on the ground and pull your elbows back and make it tight, if you pretend that you have resistance, that is a form of strength training. It's fantastic. Actually, you can get very strong doing that. 3, 2, 1, take a break. You've got 15 seconds. Now remember, your next exercise is optional. You can either continue your rest for another 30 seconds or you can get into a plank. 3, 2, 1, begin. And even though my preference is to rest, sometimes I'll do this. 1, for an example for you guys. 2, it was the first round and I wasn't feeling like it was a hard enough workout yet. So sometimes I will go ahead and plank and kind of get into that. You've got about 15 seconds. And keep in mind, if you are doing the core, you might want to get up and get ready for your squats, which are happening in about 8 seconds. You're going to see me do that anyways. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, round 2. And our intention for round 2, we always say, is dial it up a little bit. This particular time, Maggie's doing her weighted squats, and again, she's doing something we call sumo style, which is really where you're just holding the weight low and kind of sitting down. And this particular time, I am doing a super slow squat. I am counting to 10 on the way down, which is tough. Those things can be really challenging.
No, I was like, I'm kind of glad I got the weight today because I don't want to do what Aaron's doing.
Right.
But I'm just teasing.
No.
I know, I'm totally teasing. It's a great example of something that can really get those same muscles kind of burning.
Yeah.
And Aaron knows all the science behind it, but
4,
I just know that
3,
it makes me
2,
feel like I'm exercising.
1. Oh, absolutely. Take a little 15-second break. Again, it's more just a variation. It's something that I'm wanting kind of anyone to explore it with, so that they can still feel like they're getting a workout. 4, 3, 2, 1. Deadlift next. Deadlift next, please. This particular time, I am going on one leg. Again, just a variation.
And are you going slow on this one too?
I'm also going slow on this one too. Yeah, I try to do slow reps for most of this particular round, just to experiment with it. And it was kind of fun. You learn some stuff. These kinds of deadlifts, for me in particular, when just body weight, they're just okay. Yeah. I've realized that I have to dial these things up, and by the end of the video, I found an option that I really liked that got me going. And again, I'll call it out when we get there. I think it's the last round.
I know you've said that the shuffle, when you do it for longer periods of time, really.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, that's probably my second favorite one. You've got about 4 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Great job on that deadlift. Again, hopefully you were able to dial it up a little bit. Next exercise is your push or your press. Again, go ahead and get ready for that. We'll be starting it in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Now this time I learned there was a workout called an archer push-up, which is where you do a push-up, you just shift your weight over to one arm. That dialed it up big time. Yeah. It also didn't feel great. That was one that for me personally, I could do it, but it wasn't that fun to do. It didn't feel that great. So I switched instead to a kind of a slow, push-up, and then I'm also bringing my knee up. Sometimes they call it a mountain climber push-up or a Spider-Man push-up. And again, I know that I'm in the minority here. Most people aren't going to need to do weird push-ups. But again...
Most people can just do regular push-ups for 45 seconds.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But again, there are a small amount of people, and I just want to have everybody have an option here.
Yeah, no, I love the options.
3,
it's great.
2, 1. Again, take a little break here. You've got 15 seconds. Your last main exercise is your row. So again, get into whatever position or posture makes sense for you and get ready to dial it up just a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll say it almost every time. My favorite way to dial things up is really what I call hard style. It's where at one point during every single repetition, right, when you go 1, 2, right, every time you count a number, you pause for just a moment. It could be a second, it could be a half a second. And you just kind of flex. You turn your body into stone as much as you can. Right? People ask, well, what should I flex? And I say everything. Right? Everything that you've got. You're really just for a moment, and then you pick your reps back up again.
That's great.
It can be done, for instance, on the row when your elbows are all the way back. It can be done when your elbows are, or your hands are all the way forward. It can be done midway. Just pause and flex for a moment, and you will feel where you need to be tight.
Yeah.
3,
That's great, Aaron.
2, 1. And again, you've got a little 15-second breather. Reminder, it's your core or rest option. I think this time I'm going to take the rest. Maggie's going into the core. If you're going to start that core, it starts in 3, 2, 1. Otherwise, just enjoy that rest time. Now's the perfect time to get some water, by the way. Get a little sip of water. And again, we always tell people if we are moving too fast for you or something pops up, pause that video. It's totally fine to stop, right? Just because you take a longer break time does not ruin your exercise. The most important thing is to move and to move well. Okay, you've got about 8 seconds. We're going to go into squats, and we're going to start our third round. Remember, you've got 5 today. 2, 1, begin. Okay, squats round 3. The intention here is to make it feel like exercise.
Make it feel like exercise.
Round 1 was all about making it look and feel good. Round 2, in case this doesn't always make sense, but round 2 is stacking. So not only are you supposed to make it look and feel good, but you're also supposed to dial it up a little bit. Round 3 includes the previous one. So again, every rep should look and feel good. Every rep should be dialed up.
Always look and feel good.
Always, always. Yeah, and now you're just adding on the idea of making it feel like exercise. And again, you've got about 10 seconds left. Squats, I've always said, lunges, any style, are a great, great option. You can totally do that if squats don't feel good for you or if you'd like to do something different. 3, 2, 1. 15-second break. Deadlifts coming up again. So again, be ready to make them look and feel good, dial them up, and then make these feel like exercise. 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. And
most of us probably felt like we were doing exercise before this moment.
Absolutely, yeah. You just got to ensure it.
But no, that's good. It's such a good reminder.
Yeah, and I love the little tip that I'll use here is I'll say, exercise can feel, right, when we're talking about the intensity, it can feel easy, it can feel moderate, or it can feel challenging.
Yeah.
Right? It's if you just keep it within those 3, it's super easy to think about it because most people...
Yeah, it's so simple that way.
Yeah, they know, right? If I ask you, hey, does this feel easy? Most people could say yes or no. And then most people will be like, oh, it's a little harder than easy. It's medium. It's moderate, right?
Yeah.
And then you know when something's challenging, right? There's no doubt in your mind.
Totally.
When it's challenging.
That's true.
Then you've got about
really
4, 3, 2, 1, and take a 15-second break. Your next exercise is your push or your press, and you've got about 8 seconds. Go ahead and get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin, please.
It makes me think the push, Aaron. The other day you were picking up our kids, even the oldest one who was 5, and you were basically like, lifting her all the way up off the ground and then pressing her up into the air.
Towards the ceiling. And
I was like, oh, we should share this with your class because this is like real life, why we work out and why we're doing this stuff. And instead of putting luggage into an overhead bin, like we say with our overhead presses, you were
lifting a 5-year-old up to the ceiling.
Lifting up a giggling, moving cutie, patootie Lucy.
It made it all worth it. That's why I work out. Part of the reason why I work out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little break. Again, 15 seconds. Your next exercise is your row. Go ahead and prep for your row. Any style, do what makes sense. And remember, body weight, you don't have to do table ones. You can kind of mimic what Maggie's doing. I promise it'll work. 2, 1, begin. Now, the interesting thing with a row where you're just kind of mimicking, right, where you're not using weights, it's hard to make that feel like a workout.
Yeah.
So one of the tips that I'll say is, remember when we talk about hard style, at one point do a rep where you flex really hard. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're doing kind of a no weight thing, right, if you're doing nothing, you flex a little longer. Bring those elbows back and squeeze them into your body. Turn to stone for 2 seconds, for 3 seconds at a time. And that kind of work will eventually let you feel like you're getting fatigued.
Just feel every muscle in your back.
Exactly.
Like squeezing those elbows to your ribs.
Yeah, the cool thing is you can do that in just about any posture, whether you're standing or seated or sitting at your desk. 3, 2, 1. Take a 15-second break. Again, you are kind of officially done with round 3 with the big movements. Again, you can do a little core work if you want, or take the extended rest time. 3, 2, 1. Plank or keep resting. And again, now's a good time to get some water.
People are going to start doing those hard, what do you call it?
Hard style.
Hard style, like while they're Zooming in a meeting.
Yeah.
Their faces are going to be all contorted, and the other people are going to be like, what are you doing?
What's going on?
It's my trainer. My trainer told me to do it.
Making me do that. I'm going to get everybody started, but I have a funny thought about that. Okay, you've got round 4, squats coming up again. 3, 2, 1. And this particular time, I think I was going to try to do a wall sit, but I realized that people couldn't see me. So instead, I came and did just a holding squat.
Yes, I remember
wall
you
sits
saying
before.
that during this part, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, it's the same concept. I was hard style this whole time here.
Yes.
Right? And by the time I was done, I was shaking.
Yeah, I was just going to tell everybody that so they know that you...
Hard style is tough.
You definitely, because in class we only get to see you doing 1 or 2 reps as an example, and it always looks easy for you. But I can attest to the fact that Aaron works out in a way that is very challenging for
10 seconds to go. And by the way, round 4, all about maintaining. You don't have to do anything new.
Maintaining.
It's the
feel
same
like
as
exercise,
round 3.
look and feel
3,
good.
2, 1. Make it feel like exercise. Look and feel good. Keep it dialed up.
Keep it dialed up.
Kind of add that great form. Okay. Next exercise is your deadlift. Again, you've got about 6 seconds. Get ready to just maintain. Do what you've been doing. You're going to work out right. 2, 1, begin.
And Aaron, you're still doing the one-legged, like one leg slow hold down there. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of planning out that. And this time I actually just did a hold.
Oh,
again, it was like hard style, and that's what I tried to do this round. Was I did kind of 1 rep of everything and then just froze it as long as I could.
Interesting.
That was just my theme for this one.
Great.
Playing around with it a little bit. And again, you've got about 15 seconds to go.
What I like about this video is that somebody could do, if they've got weights, they could do this video, today with the weights, and then they could do it in a couple days without the weights, and they could follow
4,
your example.
3, 2, 1. 15-second break. Next up is your push-up or your press.
Maybe on like a Saturday or Sunday when we're not presenting a full workout video.
Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. Now, if you've never tried to get down to like let's say do a push-up, go down about halfway and then just lock it in. Oh, it's so challenging.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard. It's kind of a good one.
Brutal.
Okay, now.
It's great.
The thought that I had, Maggie had brought up kind of the hard style when you're on Zoom or at work, and I always found those ideas to do workouts at work kind of weird.
Yeah.
And again, it's just not my style, right? I personally wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. That being said, if you don't mind it and you're like, if you're just dying from sitting in a chair and you want to do something, sitting in your chair and just flexing everything you've got for a moment, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get your blood pumping again. By the way, you got 3, 2, 1. Take 15 seconds. If you wanted to practice those little rows or even just a little push, with your hands, you can flex your legs. It's better than nothing. Yeah. It's just not my favorite thing to do. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rows.
Like you found for people, it works better to have a designated time for movement, and that's separate from the other responsibilities
I'd suggest most people can find 5 minutes in their day. If you really had to, right? There's something you could do, 5 minutes less of. Watching Netflix could be one of those, right? I mean, we all get comfortable doing that. And we love Netflix. I mean, we watch our shows too. But yeah, I'd much rather have someone dedicate just 5 minutes rather than try to squeeze in these little reps here and there.
Sure.
Although in a future Sunday setup, we're going to be talking about how do you get some exercises in and some fun ways to do it.
Great.
It may not take 5 minutes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job on that row. Again, you have the option to do, 15 plus 30, about 45 seconds of rest, or you can do another optional 30-second plank here. If you're going to do the plank, do it in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
I was just that thought, Aaron. I know a lot of people have kind of gotten those like walking trackers.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll try to do, like 200 steps every hour.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So they'll set an alarm and then they'll go do, they'll walk around office a couple times and then come back to their desk. And I know for me, even when I was working at a desk job, I really loved doing that stuff. So it wasn't necessarily sitting at my desk, but it was a designated time kind of set apart.
And that's what I would do.
For kind of a different goal.
Right.
Oh, go ahead and start your squats, right, Aaron?
Start round 5. And again, the version of squats that I'm doing right here is a step up. It's an option for you. We've talked about that before. Or just go do stairs if you have, a length of stairs that you want to do. You're going to go for 45 seconds. By the way, it's round 5. And no matter what round it is, our last round is always our finish well. Which is, again, you still do all the same things, right? Your form has to look and feel good. We want it dialed up. We want you tight. We want you looking good. We want it to feel like exercise. And now you have that extra added responsibility to just finish it off well. Here's where you can get tired. 3, 2, 1. So it's important to make sure that you're still doing everything, right? Kind of all 3 of those things. Next exercise is your deadlift. Now, very early on, come back to this thought in a second. 3, 2, 1, begin. Early on in the session, I said I found my kind of favorite version of doing a body weight deadlift, and that's this. I am pretending to do a kettlebell swing.
Oh, I see that.
But without a swing. Now, we've talked about it whenever you're doing kettlebells and you're not actually holding one, it's called a naked
that's right.
or other.
Right.
So this would technically be called a naked swing, even though I have all my clothes on, right? Remember, that's just the name of it. All right. At any rate, what this feels like, if you've done bridges on the floor for any amount of time, it's like doing a bridge. And when you are standing up, you are really pushing your hips forward.
Okay.
And my glutes, my butt muscles, by the time I was done with this, it was kind of like, whoa, those worked way more than I thought they would. So this one, I think, is turning into my new favorite. If I have to do body weight deadlift, this is the one I'm going to do. 3, 2, 1. Again, take that little break. Okay, 2 exercises down. You've got 3 to go. Next up is your push-up or your press.
I could see the... Oh,
3,
sorry.
2, 1. That's okay. We got plenty to say. Go ahead.
I'm just curious. Aaron, you know obviously more about this than I do, but doing that kind of naked kettlebell swing, it seems like that could be a good thing for people with like back problems.
Typically, again, I will always say test the movement, right?
I guess.
Especially if you have any sort of joint problems.
Right.
You might be able to do any exercise.
Right.
But you are the biggest kind of advocate for yourself, right? Like I can't necessarily predict. I've had plenty of healthy people do kettlebell swings and it just bothers them. I've had people with back issues that they do kettlebell swings and it feels even better.
Sure. Okay.
So it's 3, 2, 1, take a little break. It can be a little hard to predict for people, which is again why I say really pay attention to how it feels for you.
Pay attention to your own body.
And you can make changes.
That's great.
Okay, you've got a row coming up. 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, this is what I was talking about. I'm mimicking. This is one of the times that I'm not doing that table row. I'm just pretending to row. And by the time I was done, it was challenging.
Yeah.
I'd come up and flex hard for a second each time, and by the end, I felt my back muscles. I felt my biceps. I felt everything. So again, I think that even if you don't have any weights at all, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
absolutely. You can do just body weight.
Yes.
Come up with creative ideas, filling a backpack with water bottles. I mean, if you really wanted weights, you probably could find something. But again, if you don't, it's not all lost. You can get very strong by doing this. So you got it down. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I think here we both said, forget those planks. It's been a 25 minute workout.
Usually the last round, you, Aaron, will choose to do the core.
I rested a little bit longer this time. Because it was more about, woohoo, we're done.
Yeah, we were like, yeah. I don't
me.
even think we timed out for the plank. I think we just assumed everybody else would be done.
You can plank if you want to. It's a strength workout.
Like I've been planking while we were talking.
Okay, so let's talk again about the stretches. One, if you've done the workout, awesome. We love that you joined us. Quick reminder that we end almost every session by doing a stretch. And this week, we're focusing on our arm and shoulder mobility. And all that means is really our ability to move the arm in the full range of motion. And if you can just imagine, kind of lifting your arm up to the ceiling and then back, you should be able to make a pretty full circle with it. A lot of people can't. They have some issues with, kind of reaching it forward or going back. And so again, we have a couple of key stretches. Our first stretch that you see us practicing right now is called a sleeper stretch. And you can hold it or do a little dynamic work. And right now, I'm doing a little dynamic work. You'll see my hand is, I'm pushing the back of my hand into the floor and then relaxing it. Pushing it back in and then relaxing it. Okay, so again, feel free to do that for 30 seconds to a minute on each arm, even longer really if you want to, but those are kind of our minimum times. And then we always like to finish our stretches by doing the actual posture that we're looking for. And this is one of the only ones that is actual movement instead of just holding it. So again, we invite you to kind of spin those arms in big circles. And the reminder here is that it's not just making lazy circles. We are reaching with those arms forward and backward. Okay, we're down to our last 20 seconds or so I'm gonna let Mags sign us off. Great workout.
Yeah, this was a great workout. Yeah, and another thing about these postures and stretches, we typically introduce our postures and stretches for the week during our 5-minute core video for the week. So I will make sure to link to that so you can check that out, and you can do that 5-minute core workout or just skip to those postures and stretches at the end. And with that, gang, we just want to remind you that you can subscribe to this channel. You can share it with anybody you think would like to move around with us. And we always love hearing from you. We are so encouraged by the support, and we've just heard from so many of you that are working out with us and moving a little more and having some fun with us. And that's really all that we could hope for. So thanks again for joining us. Make it a great day, gang.